Welcome back for another visit here on Doing It with Briggs. Today we're talking about something that is very near and dear to my heart. Click-through rate. Yes, or CTR, but most people know it as click-through rate. Got it? This is one of the most important stats you will look at in your YouTube career, because if your click-through rate is really low, your videos are going to suck. Or they might be wonderful videos, but the views are going to suck, which means less views means less money, right? That's how it works. It's a numbers game. You want high numbers on just about everything, and then you make more money. That's all there is to it. It's a game, everyone. And I'm going to teach you how to manipulate the click-through rate in a good way, nothing cheat or any weird thing like that. Now, we talked about this before, but click-through rate is how many people did they show your video to and how many of them actually watched it. So if they show it to 100 people and only 2 of them clicked on your video and watched it for like a few seconds, your click-through rate is 2%. Here's the thing. A good click-through rate is about 4.5% on up to about 5%. That's about the average, I should say. A really good click-through rate is about 10%. 10% of the people that looked at your video, they played it. They let it ride and watched at least a few seconds of it and clicked on as a like to the YouTube algorithm. They said, people are liking this. Their click-through rate is up around 9%. Let's show it to more people. That's how it works. So here's the thing. How does a click-through rate work? What do you need to do to make it better? Simple. First thing you want to do is look at your thumbnails. If you have a bad thumbnail or your thumbnails have no effort into it, chances are that's what the problem with your click-through rate is. Okay? So if you just write on there cookie cutters on a blank white screen with black letterings and maybe have a little cookie there, that's not going to entice anyone to watch your video. Now, if you have a cookie rising off in the distance, sunlight behind it, and it says the ultimate cookie cutter, people are going to go, well, what is the ultimate cookie cutter? Your thumbnail is almost like the packaging on a product. Let's take soda, okay? You're going to go down the aisle and you're going to see soda cans, and they all got different colors, and they're all wild. Now, some of them, Coke and Pepsi, from history. They're just been part of your life forever, so you just grab those. Sometimes someone comes out with a different little wrapping or, paint scheme for their sodas, and you might click on it. Let's say you're a Coke person, and all of a sudden Pepsi comes out with one that's got your favorite football team on it. It's got the logo of the Green Bay Packers on Pepsi cans. You are going to grab that instead of the Coke. Maybe not you, but a lot of people will, because they're a fan of the Green Bay Packers, and that logo of the Green Bay Packers made them get that can. Your paint scheme for your can is your thumbnail. So there's about 1 million different strategies for thumbnails. And I'm going to tell you the ones that I feel are important. One, it's got to be eye-catching. Whatever the situation is, it has to be eye-catching. Now, I don't do the best thumbnails, okay? I rely on something else, but just recently, someone that's a really serious YouTube guru type person said that my thumbnails need to be working on. Everything else on my channel is working great. I need to work on better thumbnails, which means, in my case, hiring someone. But that doesn't mean I didn't get someplace by having just total crap thumbnails. They just need to be better. So this is the first thing you want to know. If you have a style, it's a good idea to stick with that style. Like myself, I normally use a font called Plumpful. It's big, it's bulky, it's easy to read, and it's not too frilly or anything like that. It is almost to the point, but it's got a little bit of a character to it, so it's not boring. So Plumpful is what I use, and I use bright colors, and people are used to that. They see yellow, red, and green writing. They know it's going, and it's fat writing. They know it's going to be me. Mine looks like a bunch of fingers. Fingers for little people. That's what it looks like. Anyway, so if you have something that's familiar to them, that's just like Coke and Pepsi. You're familiar with their can colors and their schemes and all that other stuff. The product inside tastes a little bit different. It's not root beer versus lemonade, but, there's a little bit of a difference. Some people it does matter, some people it doesn't matter, but what's getting most of the people to grab one or the other is going to be familiarity. Which one of those cans are they used to getting? Which one did they get brought up on? What are they used to? What feels familiar? Which one is almost comfort food to them? That's what they're looking for in that can. Your thumbnail, one of the strategies is make it consistent, make it the same type of can with variants, but make people learn that this is what your paint scheme is. This is what your thumbnail design looks like. Mr. Beast, one of his big things is he puts sometimes no writing, but it's always him with his mouth open like this or something like that. Whatever the, scary places, he's like this, but it's his face. They've altered it to where it looks just a little cartoonish, but not really. So that's kind of the familiarity that people have with his videos. A lot of people will just use the same font and the same color scheme and then put their face up there. That's very popular. Now, some people don't even use the same font. Let's say they, always have some kind of a picture of them with some kind of hat on. Could be baseball hat one day, captain's hat the next day, which to me always remind me of like a pervert for some reason. Those captain hats, I just don't get them. I don't understand it. That's what, as soon as I see someone with that hat, I'm like, there's a pervert. But that's just me. But have familiarity. Once you have a pattern, kind of stick with it, fix it, make it better, but make it familiar to people. Okay? Make it familiar. And that's the most important thing, in my opinion, especially for your subscribers and people that have seen you before. Familiarity. Coke, Pepsi cans. The second thing you want to do is normally bright colors, unless it's something like a Scariest Towns or, you went to a haunted house. You don't want bright colors. So you want to grab someone's attention. You want bright colors and contrasting colors, okay? So if you got a black background, you better not have black writing, right? You better have like light gray or white or something that jumps out at their eyeballs, Myself, I use Photoshop to do my thumbnails, and if you notice, there's like this haze or this glow around them. Well, that's a layer for my writing or for the text. I click on layers, I go down, it's outer glow. I click on outer glow, I can adjust how much glow it has behind it and what color it is, and it's wonderful. That's how I use my contrasting colors. So let's say the print is actually white. I'll put a nice bright red on the back of it. So there's a red halo around all the letters. So it's contrasting colors, and they've got to be bright enough to catch someone's attention. Now, if you're going for something gothic or something really weird, yeah, maybe you could play around with that. But for the most part, it's going to be bright colors, bright contrasting colors, okay? Boom. That's a good way to start. Well, two things to start with. The next thing is, let the picture tell them what's going on in the video, okay? Let's say you got that chess club, right? And you're going to do that chess channel, and it's all about chess. Well, let's say you put up someone that is in the 1980s Back to the Future type outfit, and that's your logo. It says, the greatest chessboard ever. And you've got a picture of Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd in Back to the Future, but the text says chessboard, right? People are not going to really look at the chessboard. They see Back to the Future, and then they might notice the words and go, what the hell is this? And then it says the best chessboard on the title. What is that? Make sure they know what it is. Myself, if I am doing it, I did a video about Georgia not too long ago. Didn't do that well, but I did a video about it, and Georgia is known as the peach state. I got an attractive girl as my model for it, holding peaches like she's at a farmer's market. And she's very attractive, and 80% of my viewers on World According to Briggs are male, so that's why I always put an attractive girl on there, because I didn't make the rules, but we all know sex sells, right? So you kind of have to, especially if the video, I know a title's not going to be that strong sometimes, but I got to put videos out. So they all can't be winners, what I'm saying. But to help it a little bit, I'll get a girl on there, okay? So that's another thing. Use little tricks like that. But it's the peach state. She's in a peach dress. She's looking at peaches. Everybody knows Georgia is the peach state. And then I put Georgia on there someplace, and they get it. So it makes sense, right? I'm not going to do a video about moving to New York City and have some girl with a little straw hat and Daisy Dukes on standing in a field with a little piece of grass sticking out of her mouth. They'll be all, wait, what? This is about New York City. We got Ellie Mae out in the middle of a field with grass in her mouth? Where does that make sense? So yeah, the thumbnail is very, very important, okay? Also, with that, a little bit your logo. If they see your logo when the video pops up, if they have familiarity with it, there's a chance they'll click on it too. So that helps a little bit. The next thing is your title. Does your title grab their attention? Top 10 reasons not to move to New York. It's a basic, easy title, right? But I gave them 10 reasons. That's what they see, New York, right? And then maybe not to move to. So you got to break it down. What are these people looking for? What's better than top 10 reasons not to move to New York? A title that says, if you move to New York, you're going to get killed. 10 reasons you shouldn't move to New York. That is going to grab someone's attention. Don't get killed in NYC. It's going to grab their attention. Now, those are over the top, exciting titles, right? And that's almost like a headline for a newspaper. And believe it or not, they've been doing that to us for years. They've been doing over the top things like, the other day I saw one, Buffalo Bills, or I don't know if it was Buffalo Bills, playoffs coming, and, let's say it was Buffalo Bills lose their quarterback. Okay, I'm all, oh no, because whatever team it was that had that, I don't think it was the Bills, but let's say Josh Allen is their quarterback. He's really good. He's a major part of that team. And I'm all, oh no, they got the playoffs coming, they just lost their quarterback? No, they cut a third string quarterback off the practice squad so they can bring someone else. I read the article or got halfway through it before I realized it wasn't Josh Allen. It was some other clown. But the title and the headline got my attention. Your title needs to get people's attention. So those are the two things. Your thumbnail has to be as good as it can be. Study other people's thumbnails. One thing I like to do when I'm studying thumbnails that'll work, which I'm not as good as I should be at it, but I see what other thumbnail artists are doing, right? You go over to Fiverr and type in YouTube thumbnail and look at what they're doing. Now, some of these people are professional and you're not going to be able to copy their thumbnail, but give it a shot. Maybe, let's say you're doing a video about that chessboard, right? And you see some guy on there like this over a chessboard and all the pieces are broken and all that. That's a great freaking thumbnail, right? Well, maybe play with that a little bit. Maybe have a chessboard in front of you with a surprised look on your face. Take that picture, add some graphics on Photoshop or any other program. You can add some little light flares down there, maybe some light flares behind you, something like that. See what they're doing and what looks good, and maybe just kind of go with that a little bit. Don't rip them off. Don't copy and paste their thumbnail. That's rude, and sometimes it can be copyright infringement, but you get the idea. See what other people are doing. What is doing good? And one other good way to do that, if you're in your niche and you look around and see, let's say someone else is in your niche and they're doing really good, what do their thumbnails look like? I mean, again, don't copy them. Get inspiration from them. I had a video a long time, waterfront property, and I showed a lake house. Okay, I showed a lake house. It was kind of like the foggy, fog on the water or mist on the water, and it was a little dark, and I thought, this is really nice, looks very romantic. And then I saw someone do the same video. Basically, they ripped me off, but their video was doing better. You know why? They put a nice beach instead of a river or a lake with, scantily clad women on it and just sunshine, and it was bright and it was wonderful. And that video was doing better than mine for one reason only. He had a better thumbnail. He almost used my exact title, but he had a better thumbnail. So, since he ripped off my video, I basically took inspiration from his thumbnail and my video shot up. It's kind of tacky and it's good to be original, but sometimes you need inspiration from places. There's a great book called Steal Like an Artist, okay? Most artists, very rarely do they just come up with some original concept and start doing it. Most of the time, they learn something from someone, and then they were inspired by someone to create something off of that inspiration. So it's been going on since cavemen were in there, and one guy kept drawing three-legged woolly mammoths, and he's all, oh, this guy's got better ones. He's got 4 legs on his woolly mammoth. There you go. That type thing. So the thumbnail and the title are two of the most important things for your click-through rate. They are the most important things for your click-through rate. Now, like I said, your thumbnail or your Logo might play a little part in it, something like that. But what's going to catch people's attention is your thumbnail. And what's going to get them interested in clicking on it is that title. They're going to see a thumbnail. They're going to look at the title. They're going to click on the video. Okay. Tell them what the video is all about in the title. Let them know what the video is about by the thumbnail. It's that simple. One of the most important things I'm here to tell you is get better at thumbnails, okay? My thumbnails in the very beginning were horrendous. Horrendous. It was horrible. They're not the greatest right now, like I said, but I'm working on that. I'm going to have someone else do it. I'm going to farm out that work to a real thumbnail artist, and hopefully we'll get more views. All right, everyone. I hope that made sense to you. If you have any questions about anything I ever do here, put it in the comment section. I read these comments all the time because there's not that many, okay? World According to Briggs, I answer about 20, 30 of them, and I have to move on with my day, or my video went up at 1 this afternoon. It's almost 9. No, it's actually 9:30. I'd still be trying to answer them, and they keep coming in, so I got to quit. So yeah, I'll answer your questions. If you got any questions, just leave them in the comment section below. Everyone have a great day. Be nice to each other.